the Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello, hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys, three boys talking about movies and how it made us feel. I am Patrick
Yes,
Basquill.
we are.
That's us. That's us. I'm Patrick Basquill, and I'm a surgeon whose only job is to implant devices for supervillains.
I am John Gilardi. I played Watch Dogs 2 and thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever.
And I'm Christian Ames, and I just love Daniel Radcliffe.
Get that?
I dropped a F-bomb in the first 30 seconds. Not
Hell
gonna
fucking yeah.
get demonetized. Hell yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'm not
Today,
worried about it.
Today we are going to be talking about Guns Akimbo, a.k.a. it's Fortnite with swears.
It's the Call of Duty
Yeah.
perk or whatever. Yeah.
It's
I mean,
Harry
I think
Potter making a comeback.
The summary of this movie pretty much is Daniel Radcliffe has guns attached to his hands.
That's it. Yeah. He's Miles' last name. He plays Miles' last name, who is a keyboard warrior in the dystopian / current time, where there's an underground internet battle royale called Schism. Is that the name of the battle? Or is that the name of the
Schism.
entity?
It's like the brand.
Yeah. So it's like there's a schism, and he says, hey, don't do this. You don't like this. And then he gets put in the game, and he has guns bolted to his hands. Then he has to navigate the game where he has guns bolted to his hands.
It reminded me of, it was like a less good version of Michael Cera versus the World. What was that?
Scott Pilgrim versus
Scott
the World.
Pilgrim?
Scott Pilgrim, yeah.
Reminded
Because
me
I
of that
love
in terms
that
of his
movie.
color palette, but
Yeah.
actually reminded me a lot of the movie Nerve. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, that
with
movie-
Julia
Yes,
Roberts'
Did that movie just
daughter.
come out?
James Franco's younger brother.
Yeah, Dave Franco.
Dave.
First off, we always want to introduce that we're doing full spoilers right away. We go deep in, so heads up there.
We're going hard.
But this is yet another movie where if you've seen the trailer, you've kind of seen the movie.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, where to start with this one? I mean,
well,
It's
let's take it back to the beginning. My name is Miles something, and I'm working at where does he work again?
he works for a freemium mobile app game,
Ooh, freemium.
like Clash of Clans kind of thing.
Right,
Like
right,
he's a
right.
game
With
dev.
the
He's like, you
squirrel.
think it'd be
With the
awesome, but
squirrel.
it sucks. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Nutbuster or Bust a Nut
Yeah.
is the joke.
It's like Nut Bust 2 or Bust
Yeah.
or to Bust the Nut.
They
So-
they established from the beginning that his life sucks.
Yeah,
It's
which is funny because the color palette in the movie, it's probably one of my favorite things, is the set deck and just art direction.
Yeah.
I don't like the character designs. I'll rule that out, but I like the colors.
There's I mean,
Apparently this was filmed in New Zealand, so these are all New Zealand cities and stuff.
oh yeah, it was filmed in Auckland. Filmed
Yeah,
with the
pretty cool.
New Zealand Film Commission.
So it gave the film a cool kind of familiar Western Civ US feel because it's supposed to be an American country. I mean, in an American city, but it feels just off enough, which really works because it's not a real world. There's no way this would happen in our world.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing right off the bat was the colors.
I think my favorite thing was my very first favorite thing was the scene where he recovers from getting his hands bolted with guns. It's like I'm pretty sure it's one shot, and it's really cool because it's really disorienting, and it's like it follows and flips with him. Like they do a lot of really cool camera stuff. Like that's what is like the camera movements and a lot of like the camera tricks that they did.
It's very kick-ass.
Yeah, it was. That's one of the things. Like as far as like comparisons is like Kick-Ass, Smoking Aces, Wanted, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Nerve, obviously because I think it's kind of like the same thing a little bit.
Well, like I mentioned in my little intro, not everyone will get this, but the game Watch Dogs 2, this completely kind of copied the style of Watch Dogs 2, the video game. So I feel I wouldn't be surprised if the director, writer, he's both. I don't have his name up.
Jason Lee Howden.
Yeah, if he played Watch Dogs 2 and thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever, because this movie is just like it has all these stupid things that like edgelord teens think are really cool.
Oh yeah.
Like like the gas mask, LED face masks, and like just like these punk things and the edgy lord things. Like it's just all over the place.
Like the first Watch Dogs game was pretty like gritty and realistic, but the second one just tried to go full cyberpunk. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was like cyber dystopian modern day punk kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. And the edginess, I will say it committed to the edginess, but the edginess and the dialogue was so bad. God, and Samara Weaving character had some really good moments, but it was so like she's insane, so I guess that's the defense there. But she would like, I don't know, like the suck my clit line just.
Oh yeah, that didn't land on me.
They did
but
a
dude,
lot of
she
stuff
had a
like
cigarette in her nose.
No, that was
a dollar
cash.
bill,
so
right?
so she could snort cocaine.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
catch that.
Yeah,
Oh.
so she was a cokehead,
She
which
liked
is
coke.
funny. It was like her magic powder that would make her. a
Oh,
badass.
that's right. That's right.
I liked the character a lot, but I also hated that the moments I hated in that movie were when certain things that character did or said.
They couldn't decide. It didn't feel like they could decide whether or not they wanted it to be like she was. I don't know. They couldn't decide how they wanted you to feel about her, and it's like, present her one way and then flip it on me, and it's like, oh, but it's like the whole time they kind of presented her with this like, and I know that she's like a badass, cool character, but they showed her with like a softness, whereas like it would have been cool if maybe she was like not. We didn't see a whole lot from her, or like she was kind of like Jaws and we like withheld that, and then all of a sudden there's like one conversation and then like sets it off.
Like she has a
where they just
reputation and you're
allude
hearing
to her
about
dark
this.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like she has a reputation, you're hearing about it, you're seeing the clips, the online clips of her killing people, and there's this expectation that she's a monster, but then you see there's a soft side to her. She's insane, but she still has like some restraint, and you learn that she has the motivation of trying to get back to her family or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this, she's just batshit crazy, and then you learn about her origins, but it's just so inconsistent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the name of the game in Guns Akimbo, man.
Yeah.
Also, I saw Ready or Not before seeing this movie, and she was so awesome in that movie that I just like, I bought everything she did. I bought into it. I loved it.
Yeah, I get that.
I loved her. Like, I mean,
yeah.
she's a charismatic actor, so it's like
I think
you can't
that's
help it. Also,
why I
I
liked
just
her
looked
so
up
much, and I had the negative feelings towards the parts that just were so weird.
the writing.
Yeah. But yeah, also shout out to like what Christian mentioned, Ready or Not, super good movie.
Yep. Also, I just looked up Hugo Weaving is her uncle. I was hoping it was her dad, but it's her uncle. That's pretty cool.
It was
Elrond
interesting.
of Rivendell?
Yeah. That she's an elf princess, man.
Yeah.
She could be.
She
I
could.
totally see that.
Yeah.
Maybe, I wonder if who's cast in the Amazon Lord of the Rings. That'd be cool if she was.
Ooh, yeah.
I didn't see it.
Dude,
I was
she
actually
could-
just checking her IMDb. I didn't see anything up there with her. And that's how I knew that she was like, I was like, why have I seen her face? Because those bleached out eyebrows did not do any favors to her, I don't think.
She was
Oh,
also
yeah.
in a movie called The Babysitter. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I love that movie.
I love that movie. Me and my wife have watched it twice. We just rewatched it like a few nights ago because we loved it so much, and she was awesome in that. So I think when I found out that she was in this, and Daniel Radcliffe, I fucking love Daniel Radcliffe. Like I enjoyed this movie purely because of those two.
Talk about it, because
Dude,
me and John are here bashing this movie.
Dude, Danny Boy, I'm going to love anything Danny Boy does. He, unfortunately, since Harry Potter, he's been in a lot of movies, but nothing like, I don't know, nothing like groundbreaking, I
He's
guess.
been in movies with really cool concepts, like
Yes.
Swiss Army Man, Horns, and this.
And I loved all those movies. Again, like, I can't get enough Daniel Radcliffe. I think he's such a good actor. He's so flexible. He's done such a good job. Like, if there's somebody who has a challenge to break out of typecasting, it's the kid who played Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I think he's done a really good job of that.
He's really charismatic, which, I mean, he was the lead Harry Potter, but you don't think of charisma when you think of Harry Potter. You think of like stoic bravery or whatever.
Whininess.
So the fact that he's super charismatic and is able to carry a lot of roles, as these three roles were, I don't know. I like it a lot. It reminds me of not Shia LaBeouf, Elijah Wood and Maniac,
Yeah.
and that same like
Yeah. Same thing.
Or in
Just same
Sin
kind of role
City.
that shows their range.
I remember going to see from seeing him as Frodo and then seeing him as Kevin in Sin City, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that could be creepy as shit.
Have you seen the YouTube video? It's like a skit that Elijah Wood made where he's just dead ass drunk, just making a skit for his friends.
I don't know if I have.
No, but
No, I
that
need to
sounds.
send it.
I gotta watch that.
Please
after.
do.
Yeah, I'll send after, and if you're listening, check that out. Pause it
Yeah.
and check it out because it's so funny.
Oh, another thing I loved about this movie: the homeless guy.
Yeah,
Really?
Murray.
I loved the homeless guy. He was just, I just liked him. I liked the way he talked. Which now that I know this was filmed in New Zealand, didn't he have like a New Zealand accent?
They kind of did, and the police chief too. It was interesting because I knew, like, the homeless guy is Murray from Flight of the Conchords and or from What We Do in the Shadows. He's like, hey, we're werewolves, not swearwolves.
I thought he looked familiar.
Yeah, so that's that guy. And it's just like, I know him as the Australian actor, or not Australian, New Zealand, and I could just hear it like throughout a bunch of like, because it was clearly shot in New Zealand, so there's like little twinges all throughout. Because it's funny because it feels like the movie is set in America, but I don't know if there's an American actor there. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
Samara Weaving?
She's Australian.
Oh, is Hugo Weaving Australian?
Yeah.
She's from Adelaide, Australia, mate.
Hey,
I had
there you
no
go.
idea. I just
I
didn't
saw
even
that when I
assign him to a
googled it.
nationality. He's just a man
He's just Hugo Weaving.
born in Nigeria. Interesting.
What?
I think another cool thing that I liked about this movie, and this makes sense too, based off of what you said, John, about it being Watch Dogs 2, essentially, is like this movie is a video game. Like, it very much has that like ordinary world, and then I can totally see that first scene being a cutscene from like a video game.
Yeah.
I was kind of watching this movie through that lens. Like, oh, I'm playing a video game. I'm the character who has 2 guns bolted to his hands. Got to figure out how to do it. Homeless guy is like the wise Yoda character.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he gives you the power up, and then you, yeah.
I feel like I would be a lot more forgivable, or a lot more forgiving. Sometimes I'm good with words, but I would be a lot more forgiving of the dialogue and the script if it was a video game that I could play and have 2 guns bolted to my hands.
Yeah.
Because like if I'm forced to watch it and I can't like blast and be like a cool guy doing stuff, it's like, I don't know. It doesn't really have the same verve, because it definitely feels like it's like there's a message in this movie, and then blow a guy's head off. I don't know.
Like the message in the movie was people suck.
Yeah.
Pretty much was the message.
It was
like
very
the online,
angry.
Yeah, the online community and the anger and lack of apathy of people online is shitty, which is interesting. I wouldn't say it's hopeless, but as a content creator or someone who makes their life with that, you do see and get exposed to a lot of nastiness. You do see that, and a lot of it is a disconnect of the fact that you're watching a human, or there's a humanity behind that. It's just entertainment provided, and it's in front of you, which is exactly what Schism is. And that's what, like, Daniel Radcliffe has this whole thing. It's like, if like you got I don't know, like, we're human. What do you? I don't know.
I know, but he's like,
one thing.
I don't know. Like, does he learn his lesson at the end?
No, he just goes out and kills everyone.
He's just a
he makes a
badass.
mission to go out and knock them all out, all the Schism people. So it doesn't have a full message, but it plays with theming of I guess critique and this mob, the mass kind of. I mean, it's a gladiator. You have human beings in the arena, and you don't give a shit. I'm not saying us as content creators are gladiators, but I guess I'm trying to connect it to.
I think we are.
I get that.
I think we are gladiators.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, we're not heroes, but
That
we
was
are.
one thing I didn't like, is that there was no justice for all the people who were watching, just like shitting on him the whole time, like all the scumbags watching. I mean, just like with Daniel Radcliffe of essentially not learning his lesson at the end of the movie, there was no justice for that. Maybe that's the message of the movie, is that life as a content creator, you are the gladiator, and you're just a puppet for the audience.
I mean,
I'm just kind of like trying to come up with stuff as I'm talking right now.
No, I love it. I love it. I feel like
maybe
that's also how the
it's
movie was written, because they were like,
Yeah.
all right, shit sucks.
Let's
then-
just have stuff happen. Guns, explosions.
Except the dude's from New Zealand, so it sounded like, yeah, all right, so shit sucks, and people fight, and people shoot and die, and everyone sucks still at the end.
But the girl's the strongest.
Yeah.
I like the way she went out, and the performance there was really good. I like to explain the situation. Daniel Radcliffe and Samara Weaving's character, Nix is her name. They're like in this kind of shitty situation. There's really no way out. They need to get somewhere quickly, but there's like a ton of bad guys. And you knew she had C4 on her from earlier, but it's just the performance. You see her look down, you barely kind of see the C4, and you just know. And the performance sells it so well that you know that like, she's decided this is how it ends.
Yeah.
She's going to take control. And I don't know. That moment's really stuck out to me from a performance actor standpoint. Thought it was really good.
I mean, I think this movie is littered with like good performances. Like Daniel Radcliffe is funny. Again, I think that, the fact that Samara Weaving / Nix is able to make you care about that moment, and me, I like that moment. I was a little bit hit over the head with it whenever she assumed the Christ-like pose and was engulfed in flame. That was a little bit, but it was still cool, but it's like it doesn't help the script. Like the script with its quippy lines, it takes you out of those cool performances and those realistic motions and those moments.
I remember in film school the first time a character died in a Christ-like pose and my professor pointed it out. I was blown away. I was like, dude, that's so epic. And that was the first and last time I thought that was cool in a movie. The Christ-like pose, it shows they're sacrificing themselves for the greater cause. They are the Christ of the movie.
It's like to bring a redeeming quality to a bad character, not a bad character, like a bad person. Like it cancels it out or something.
Yeah.
She also had the habit of shooting people in the dick, which is like classic edgelord. Like, I'm gonna write this in. It's so edgy, just shooting people's dicks.
And then
it's like a classic example of like a 12-year-old writing a movie script kind of thing.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Again, that's what I have in my notes is like Edgelord the movie. This movie was written by teenagers for teenagers, but it's not like teenagers can't go see it because I'm sure that it's rated R.
There's it's a prosthetic dick, but there's dick in there. So
I was excited to see that, not because I love penises, but just because it's like representation both ways is nice.
Oh, absolutely. It's not fair that there just aren't enough penises in movies, in cinema. There's not enough. Again, not that I like penises either, but I 100%
you should just
agree
pick
with
movies
you.
that have dick in them. Off of the top, I know the
28
Superstar
Days Later.
movie,
Forgetting Sarah
the
Marshall.
Lonely Island one.
Yep. That's a great one.
The one with Ben Affleck. There's a little bit of.
There is. You get to.
In there.
There's a little bit of Ben Affleck's hog. We love hogs on this podcast.
Wait, what movie is Ben Affleck's hog?
You just see
Gone
like
Girl?
the tip. Gone Girl, yeah.
Oh.
He gets out of the shower and it's like a kind of 3/4 frontal angle, and then his leg covers it. It's like
Gone Girl, more like Dong Girl.
Hey.
But
it's
yeah,
a fun movie to watch.
Better than Guns Akimbo or no?
Yeah, definitely a better movie.
Oh, Gone Girl, dude, Gone Girl's awesome. Not just for Ben Affleck's penis. It's a very good movie.
Well, that's actually pretty funny because that kind of brings me to like this movie wouldn't exist without another David Fincher film, Fight Club. Like this movie feels like Fight Club had its sort of like anarchist message, like consumerism, blah blah blah. Like that's what I feel like is all of those other movies are built off of. Like especially with this, where it's like it's a message, but there's crazy violence. Yay or nay?
Yeah.
No.
I concur.
No, I agree. I think even the color palette
Yeah.
is super. Just the soap poster is straight up like you see that color palette in this movie so much. I mean, it's literally right there.
Well, and it's all about pushing the limits of things, like having that split second of porn in there in Fight Club, and then whenever Daniel Radcliffe goes to eat a hot dog that's like a half-eaten hot dog that keeps getting more mustard on it, no matter how much mustard falls off of it, and then it's like on the ground next to a condom, and it's like I just know that the guy was like, all right, put a fucking condom there. Yeah,
Dude, that'd be so funny.
he's eating
he's
eating a hot dog off the ground. There's a condom on the ground. Fucking loser.
You know, it's something we haven't brought up as a similar movie or a movie that does it maybe better is Deadpool. Like Deadpool's all edgelord is edgelord. That's Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it works better than
Deadpool
what this
was
movie
also-
tries.
Absolutely. Deadpool was also the first of its kind to really have that, like, fourth wall breaking throughout the movie. Like, it was so... It was the first movie I had seen like that. And Deadpool has always been like that infamously in comics. Like, he's known for just breaking the fourth wall. I feel like Deadpool... And that's part of the reason why I feel like people didn't like this the second Deadpool as much, because they had already seen that in the first one. It's like... I thought Deadpool 2 was just as good as the first one. It's just we already had the first one.
I actually liked the second one better, personally.
I guess more
How
more
dare
so
you!
in like
can fight
the
on it.
edgelord, like, oh, I jerk off to unicorns and like that, like the goofy, edgy stuff. You know,
I think.
why does that work in that movie?
Yeah.
And not is it because of the fourth wall breaking, or is it because it's just done better?
I think it's honesty.
Yeah,
Like, I think that there's, like, a weird honesty that, like, follows through. And I can't say why. Maybe it's because of the performance. But it just feels like everything that's put in this movie, Guns Akimbo, is, like, there to be, like, whoa, this fucking rad. Like, the condom on the ground. And it's not addressed. It's just, like, there. Whereas, like, I feel like in Deadpool... there feels like there's a certain amount of honesty in the ridiculousness of it.
Well, man, Deadpool feels like it was written by 28-year-old screenwriters. Where there's good moments in this in Guns Akimbo that feels like they're written by 28-year-old screenwriters. I'm just being arbitrary, but in Guns Akimbo, there's a lot of instances where it feels like something's written by a 12-year-old screenwriter, like fanboy.
and they're trying to get a message across. Whereas, like, I know what you mean. Like, honesty. Like in Deadpool, when he's tiny and he talks about how he wants to jack off with his tiny hand because his dick's gonna feel huge in his tiny hand. That's the honesty we need.
That's the truth. That's the
Because
truth.
who wouldn't? If your arm was growing back and you had a tiny hand, your dick's gonna feel giant in that tiny hand. Who wouldn't want to do that?
I mean, I think that's something that we all need to address within ourselves and say that if we had a tiny we would jerk off with the tiny hand to see how big our
penis felt.
Whoa.
And that I mean, obviously on a larger scale, pun intended, throughout Deadpool, that honesty is there.
Whereas I feel like in Guns
feel it.
Akimbo, it's like, it feels like everything is like pushed through the message rather than through the person. Again, it kind of goes back to the fact that Miles doesn't learn anything. Like,
Yeah.
And what the message is like, because he's like,
Well, his I don't know if he's learning it, but he realizes that he's not a boring schlub. Is basically the arc,
that's a bad arc.
and he has confidence now. But he was already like a kind of charismatic dude. He just kind of like was stuck in the rut of life. Boring job, using the same 3 social media apps, always on his phone. But he like wasn't a boring dude. He had charisma. He was hung up on a girl, but he had a girlfriend. He has a job. Like, it was, so it took like a dude with a decent life, but kind of depressed and bored. He needed to go on a murder spree to find himself. Like, what is the message there?
And finding himself at the end was essentially just becoming John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because
then
that's the last shot is Daniel Radcliffe becomes John Wick.
Yeah. He's wearing
He's
a
even
black
got a black suit.
driving a
yeah.
muscle car.
Yep.
Well, this movie again, like with because I did a little digging on the director, and there's some interesting stuff too. But it's like he's like a VFX artist who does like rotoscoping and stuff. Like he worked on Avengers, War of the Planet of the Apes, blah blah blah, bunch of stuff. Prometheus, and then he did a movie in 2015, Deathgasm, where he won like a $200,000 prize about two young boys who summon a devil or a demon or something like that. I didn't read too much into it, but
Dude,
essentially,
Deathgasm could have been the title of this movie.
Yeah.
but it's like
Easily.
the same way that it feels like something that he'd been thinking about and like that he figured out a way to get made. The same way that the John Wick directors, like they worked as stunt people for a long time and then like created the best version of the movie that they wanted and then pushed it through John Wick. This is like the same thing, but it's not. Like there's no tale, there's no message, because there's nothing pushed through the main character. It's all through this bullshit message.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, stuff just kind of happens.
I don't know if there even is a message. It's just what we're interpreting it as, or the theming we're pulling from it.
Yeah.
Well, I think, again, going back to like watching it through the lens of like a video game, I think that's what I enjoyed this movie. I like this movie. I would give this, well, I'll wait till the end to give my rating, but I enjoyed this movie. I was also drinking wine and eating dinner with my wife while we watched it, and it was just like a fun ride.
Yeah.
But there really wasn't it like I'm never gonna watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Ever. But
I'm
it was
glad I
just
watched
like
it,
it was like
'cause-
playing a video game. Just like, oh, cool. I'm playing Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things this movie reminds me of, and maybe it's a super derivative movie, but it reminded me a lot of, I already forgot. I blanked out. Sorry.
I mean, we better watch out though, because the director has been like attacked people on Twitter through the promotional Twitter for the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's okay though. It was like a reviewer who like made fun of one of his friends who they leaked some DMs where she said the N-word and he called them out and stuff, and is like, but he's been bashing people on Twitter and stuff for being woke culture. So
for not for being critical of his movie though.
not that I saw. But
Oh, okay.
so we're probably fine there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be okay.
Just
guys. We're
don't
not gonna
say the
wake up
N-word.
with guns bolted to our hands.
Maybe that's the message.
Dude,
that was his threat.
that would be such a twist. That would be a Fight Club twist.
Oh my god. You met me at a strange time in my life. I got guns bolted to my hands.
You know what? I'm gonna say I did like the color palette, like you were saying, John. But I just realized part of the reason why it made me feel a little on edge is because the color palette reminds me so much of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And that movie,
Yeah.
movie is just unanimously not good.
There's something about this movie that made me like in my eyes and my brain uncomfortable. Not like because of the violence or not because of anything. Like it's just like the and maybe it's the camera work again, something that I liked, where it's like disorienting and like jarring, but it like made me feel like I was in a box and it was jagged. I don't know. It was just something about it did not.
Yeah, I mean, it was the crazy camera work and the movement and all that was really cool for instances like when he wakes up and he's hungover from the sedatives and the stress and whatever from getting the guns attached to him, and then when he's rolling around trying to find his inhaler and kind of get his bearings. That worked. You know, that was filmmaking. You know, it had a purpose. It was in sync with the story, and the technique was furthering the story. But with the action, it's so hard to follow, and there's no reason the action needs to be disorienting. Maybe it should be from Daniel Radcliffe's because he's not a soldier or someone with experience in fighting. But when Samara Weaving's going after it, it's all over the place. Maybe it's because she's insane. I don't know, but it detracts from it. You know, it becomes a style with no substance kind of thing. And it was some of the hardest action to follow I've seen in a while. The opening scene is just so hectic.
Yeah.
And that kind of editing, that pacing stays throughout it.
She was just on X Games mode, dude. It couldn't keep up. She was on Tony Hawk, dude.
Oh yeah. You just don't get it. It's exactly what people want.
Yeah, dude. It's just like, dude, they want to make you feel the action. They don't want this
wanna
isn't
put
a
you
movie
there.
where they want you to sit down and enjoy and feel comfortable. They want you to feel hungover. They want you to feel like shit and disoriented. That's the aim of the film.
It worked so well when it worked.
It did.
Yeah.
So I guess we kind of reached the point is how do we make this movie better? Is there a way to make this movie better? Or what do we take away from this movie that's like, this is a cool thing?
Well, I think, see, the movie played with a lot with the messaging, where it was like, so you think this is the kind of movie where this romance storyline is going to happen? Or later on, it's like, you think this is the kind of movie where I save the day and my girlfriend comes running into my arms. But no, she has PTSD from watching me bash a man's head. So it's like, the movie tries to take like a storytelling and subverting expectations, and because of that, it doesn't allow itself to have that message to have the character develop in a way. So maybe it's an anti-message movie. Like, I think that's maybe just the core of it, but I think the movie doesn't make an identity in subverting expectations enough besides those moments for that to be the movie.
Yeah.
So to fix it, I would say commit. Be a movie that is about subverting expectations, or be a movie that's edgy and loud and violent and just bright and loud again. But give it some kind of purpose. Bring it back around, you know? I think he needed to commit to either one, and it tried to toe the line between those two.
It tried to get too clever with itself, I feel like. Like, kind of like, it definitely could have used either one, like, expectation to subvert, or just, like, go balls to the wall and subvert all of them. I think my sort of pitch to make this movie better is to have the good guy learn something. And I feel like we saw the bad guy. Like, I don't know why the bad guy came to his apartment to put the guns on his hands. Like, I feel like
he didn't have a VPN.
Yeah. We need to get a VPN sponsor. I'm imperfect.
I know that would have
been.
been such a good segue. Speaking of which, today's podcast is no, it's not. We don't have a sponsor.
I bought that. He was just being a loud dick, and the guy was like, "You know what? Fuck you. You're next." I bought that. That was enough for me there.
Well, I mean, I get why he would, like, the main bad guy would send people, but why he would show up to that guy's, if it's such, like, why he would show up, why he wouldn't send people, and all, like, you know, it's like, make the bad guy, if it's this multinational corporation killing game bullshit, it's like, make it someone unexpected or expected. Like, make it face CEO Mark Zuckerkorn who runs this, you know? Some bullshit like that.
That'd been good.
Where it's like
Mark Zuckerkorn.
Yeah, where it's like you take it all the way up, like he goes all the way through and he kills the guy with the terrible prison tattoos. And then he gets there and he goes through the final door and Mark Zuckerkorn shoots his girlfriend in the head and is like, "Nice, dude. Thanks for getting me 2 million followers." And it's just like,
Or it was an alien race using humanity for entertainment.
Yes. That'd been great too. That'd have been fucking awesome.
But yeah, totally. The fact that he comes, like, I don't know, just in terms of like fake it till you make it kind of mentality, or just that kind of concept. Like, it makes you look small if you, the CEO, show up for this one little, you know, grunt, I guess, I don't know, to put him in your game as cannon fodder.
And then I was
I guess
bothered.
That does fit the character though, because he's a very micromanagey kind of dude.
Yeah. We saw that where he
So it fits,
choked out
I
the
guess.
director or whatever. Yeah, it fits, but it's also like, why is he, to me, and this is something I was watching the movie, is like, whenever Miles and Nix are storming the final place, and he's like pissed, he's like, "Oh my gosh, how could this happen?" I think it would have been cool there. It would have been fun if he was like, "Hell yeah, fucking, this is going to be great for the view count." Like if he had one singular goal, like getting the view count as high as possible, or it's like everybody's goal was to be as edgy as possible. They didn't have a real goal, and I think that's why fucking Deadpool has one goal, and everything kind of like goes around and through that. Whereas everyone's goal in this movie was just to be a fucking wackadoo.
Yeah, it was just again, he saw Watch Dogs 2 and thought it was so cool and was just trying to emulate that. Like that's 100%, not 100%, but I wouldn't be surprised that in that
He played Watch Dogs 2 and just had to make a movie.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
well,
fuck yeah, I love this.
Here's how I would make the movie better, and I am our resident casting expert. I would just recast the big bad guy as Ray Fiennes.
Ooh.
And that would do it, because then it would harken back to Harry Potter, and everybody would be like, it's Voldemort and Harry Potter all over again. And that would
put that together.
That would just make it better. Just make it better. Also, bring back the snake nose. Why not?
Okay.
Keep the face tats, but throw a little snake nose in there.
Well, he's a dude who wants to be a snake. There's those people that want to be tigers and they get all the tiger tattoos and all the piercings. So that's what that guy is.
Like Joe Exotic, except Snake, the Snake King.
Snake King.
Yeah. Snake King's a cool, kind of simple name.
Yeah.
If I heard like there's a Snake King around the corner, or I was being taken to the Snake King, I'd be scared.
Oh. I know, but it feels like that's like a name that's like too close. Like it's like too obviously a bad guy name. Oh, the Snake King.
The Snake Lord.
Snake
the
Lord.
Snake. The Duke of Snakes.
Donut Lord.
Donut Lord. Cobra. King Cobra. That's just a King Cobra.
That is an animal.
Oh, there was one joke they established with the guy with the gimp mask. It's like, oh, you don't want to see his face. It's hideous. I was like, oh, okay. I guess they're going to show us his face and that'll be a funny gag.
And then they didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't show us his... I was looking forward to seeing his face. Was looking forward to seeing his face because I wanted to see how fucking ugly this dude was.
But guys, that's the Jaws effect. You don't show the monster. You just keep it. You keep it there and never really show it. They were trying to create a sense of mystery around this character, who is really one of the central characters in the movie.
Horse face gimp. Horse gimp face.
I completely forgot about that. I wanted to see that fucker's face too.
I'm watching the trailer and it looks like they just stole the same font from Suicide Squad. Like
absolutely did.
It looks like the same exact font from Suicide Squad.
Yes.
I mean, I think something we like to do is relate movies to other movies we've seen. Kind of something we've been doing, and we've been doing that a lot this episode. And I don't think that's because that's how we look at movies. It's because this movie, like I said earlier, is so derivative.
Yeah.
Like it should feel fresh. I think maybe that's part of why it feels flat and disappointing. Is it should feel fresh. It's a cool concept. It's engaging. I want to see how this guy handles this situation, and it just feels like a familiar romp. I will say that that scene where he's trying to accustom himself to having gun hands is really good.
Yeah.
Like he has to go pee and he's like, okay, just don't shoot your dick off. He's trying to use his phone. He accidentally shoots the gun because he's not used to it. Like that scene's great. That's playing with the hook, the gimmick of the movie, real well.
And he says how
the rest
loud
of it
guns
is all
are.
familiar.
Dude, going off that, how funny would it have been if they promoted this movie like a huge, big action, thriller, and then the whole movie was him doing like cheap little antics like that, like trying to pull out his dick to piss, like throughout the whole movie. Once in a while, getting into a little skirmish, but most of the movie was just him trying to figure out how to do daily activities with guns attached to his hands. Now that would be subverting expectations.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I'd make it better.
Okay.
There we go.
I think that's solid.
I think we touched on this a little bit, but we kind of trailed off. But Daniel Radcliffe post Harry Potter and how he has compared to the rest of the main 3 or 4, if you want to, or whatever you want to throw in Malfoy.
Hermione and Ron.
Yeah.
Rupert Grint and Emma Watson.
I mean, I can only think of one movie I've seen with Rupert Grint in it past Harry Potter, and it was Into the White, which is a pretty cool World War II film.
Okay.
Where these were pilots of the RAF and the Luftwaffe get shot down over Norway, and they have to hide out in a cabin together as enemies. And it plays with those dynamics. It's a good film. I recommend it. But that's all I've seen Rupert Grint in. I've seen Daniel Radcliffe in a fair amount of things.
Yeah.
And Emma Watson.
Emma Watson's done well too.
She's done well, but I think of them.
But is she in good stuff?
I mean, she's Emma Watson and things. I don't think that she's
Perks of Being a Wallflower, John. Come on.
I never saw that.
Yeah, but is she good in that?
Well,
okay, so she's in Little Women. That was a good movie recently.
Yeah, and I heard that they had to edit around her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like not because she's
her filmography is not great.
I think that
she was in that Noah movie, that like blockbuster movie about Noah the Ark, Noah's Ark, Noah the Ark. That wasn't great. It was like a box office flop.
That was Darren Aronofsky, right?
Beauty and the Beast, which is just kind of your classic run-of-the-mill Disney retread.
She sang through autotune.
I mean, I haven't seen Perks of Wallflower, but if that looks like her one bright spot.
The Bling Ring is supposed to be pretty good too.
Blade Rain?
The Bling Ring?
Oh, I remember that.
Are you guys making up movies?
No,
The Bling Ring is about like a bunch of kids who rob rich people.
And I think Sofia Coppola directed it. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched this.
And then, so one of the other movies on her filmography is Colonia. It's Colonia, and that's the worst movie or like the lowest box office total ever. I think it made like $200 in the box office.
Damn, dude.
Jeez.
I have more than that in my bank account. Holy shit. Colonia.
It says it made, I don't know where I read that. It says it made $3.6 million at the box office.
Jeez.
So, I'm wrong.
Huh.
No, this is...
Yeah, it looks like Rupert Grint just does a lot of like British TV.
I think that he...
Yes, he was in a show my wife was watching, and he would, I remember thinking, oh, it's Ron Weasley, but he was doing a very good job not acting like Ron Weasley. So
I mean, he could be a working actor.
I think that I've seen him in some stuff that's not been, I think maybe it was Cherry Bomb. I saw him in something that was like really good. That was just very, I don't know. I think he's the best actor of the three of them, the main three. But I think that he just feels sadder and like is able to be more honest. I don't know. Where I feel like Daniel Radcliffe tries to be a better actor more and gets more opportunities to do so, but I think that he tries to be a better actor more.
Well, he has the novelty of being Harry Potter, but it's also the novelty of like, I want to see Harry Potter do different things.
Yeah.
You know, like I watch it, like everyone will watch it as Harry Potter with horns on his head, or I'll watch Harry Potter with guns.
Yeah.
Like, so he has like the star power. I want to see the star because I've seen him in things, I like him. And I want to see Harry Potter with guns.
Guilty as charged with that one. I said it at the beginning of the podcast. I am absolutely guilty as charged with that one. I love Harry Potter. And I love Danny for that reason.
Okay, I was about to say, I was like, do you love Harry Potter or do you love Daniel Radcliffe? Or do you love Daniel Radcliffe as a Harry Potter?
It's a little bit of both, because I was never, like, obviously, if you don't enjoy Harry Potter, you probably don't have a soul. But, like, so I've always enjoyed Harry Potter, and I love Daniel Radcliffe as Harry Potter, so it's a combination of the two. So I'll always watch whatever he's in. The first thing I think I saw after Harry Potter was The Woman in Black. Have you guys seen that?
Yeah, I have seen
Dude,
this.
that was a trip. First of all, I love that movie. Thought it was a really good, fresh horror film. I think Danny Boy did very well in it, and
that was his first thing post Harry Potter.
It was okay, so it was.
I think it was his first thing.
The first thing I saw him in was either My Boy Jack or Horns.
Yeah.
No, My Boy Jack. Yeah, that came out in 2007. That was the first non-Harry Potter one I saw him in.
Gotcha. But that is
TV
a good
movie of a it's from a like wealthy British family in World War One, so he goes into the military as an officer, but he gets killed, and actually has one of my favorite kind of battlefield deaths in a movie, where it zooms out and his death comes across as insignificant, and then it goes back to his family, and then he's loved, and you feel it's like this crazy juxtaposition of just the shittiness of the no man's land,
Yeah.
and how he's just one in hundreds and thousands that just fall in this mud pit, and then you just go and see that he was loved, and you see his family, and I don't know, it's really well done. Definitely very
Wait,
tragically
what's the name of that?
told.
My Boy Jack.
My Boy Jack.
It says it was a TV movie.
Yep, I think BBC.
BBC. So, gotcha.
Dude, and how soon after Harry Potter was that?
Oh, it was Rudyard Kipling's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a very affluent family. It was in the middle of it came out in 2007?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the middle of Harry Potter.
Wow. I mean, I think clearly Daniel Radcliffe has he's Harry Potter, so he's got like the best career of
He's
them.
definitely got the leg up there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they're all set. Like, when it comes down to it, is like they're all gonna be set forever.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I wonder what their royalty setup is. When they pull Harrison Ford. I mean, they're child actors, so I don't know who was negotiating their interest, but probably not.
They probably
He was.
they're probably
He
doing
was
fine.
also. Daniel Radcliffe was also in David Copperfield
Yeah.
when he
young
was a
young
child.
David Copperfield.
Well, Daniel Radcliffe's dad was like an agent, so he knew stuff. I'm sure he got set up.
Did
But
you guys know that Haley Joel Osment auditioned for Harry Potter?
I did not know that, but I know that Robin Williams wanted to be Hagrid, but they were like, no, not British people.
It was
Huh.
only British cast.
Yeah.
Is that a J.K. Rowling decision? Isn't Chris Columbus American?
I mean, I listen. I don't know. I just know that Robin Williams wanted to be Hagrid, but they were like, no, only British actors.
Dude, who's the guy who played Hagrid? What's his name? I don't know his name. I love that guy, but just picturing Robin Williams, man, that would have been special. Not saying he would have done a better job, but I mean, it's Robin
Coltrane.
Williams, dude.
I mean, it's Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But
I think
I don't know. I could
it
see
could have
it.
been good as long as he played Hagrid and not Robin Williams playing Hagrid.
Yeah.
No, Robin
I mean, he's
Williams
really
as
good. He's probably the-
Voldemort. Robin Williams as Voldemort. Fuck yeah.
I mean, he's one of the better ones that doesn't bring his. It's a comedian thing. That's pretty easy to happen, but I take that back. Comedians are actually some of the deepest actors out there.
Well, it also depends
most
what kind of
range.
movie that they're in, because a comedian can get in there and do it, Adam Sandler, and be like, all right, do you want me to be Adam Sandler or Jim Carrey in this movie? And then it's like, no. I want you to be like, please access your deep soul of sadness that you have. And it's like, okay, cool, I can do that too.
Just access that sadness. Pull it right out.
They're like, oh, this one? And they have like an entire mountain of sadness behind them. Oh, sorry, I thought that was your house. No. That's my sadness.
But we laugh at it. We laugh. We laugh at their sadness.
I think I don't know. We're incredibly blessed to have a Harry Potter and Daniel Radcliffe who is like, you know what? Fuck it, guys. I'm gonna do some weird fucking shit. Like, I want to do some weird stuff. So
I think the biggest thing that he busted out with was that Broadway play or some stage play where
Equus.
he had full frontal nudity.
Yeah.
So that was like his big I'm not the boy who lived.
like,
That's not me.
you guys wanna
I'm an actor.
you wanna see my dick?
Yeah.
You wanna see me have an emotional relationship with the horse? If I say that he wants to fuck a horse, my brother will yell at me because he loves that play. And I'm like, you want to fuck a horse? And he's like, no, it's not about that.
I had no idea that.
Wait,
that was about.
isn't that the actual like plot line of the play that the
Yeah,
guy
it's like-
wants to have sex with the horse?
It has, I don't know. I haven't read it, so I can't really say, but I know that from talking to people, it's like, I'm like, oh, that's the horse about the dude who wants to fuck a horse. And people are like, no, he has an emotional relationship with the horse, and he only imagines that he wants to fuck the horse. And
So
like,
he wants to
sounds
fuck
like
the horse.
He wants to fuck the horse.
I will say, for the record, that is exactly the description I would give for that play. Oh, it's about the guy who wants to fuck the horse.
No, God!
It's much more than that. It's deeper.
It's nuanced. Unlike Guns Akimbo.
He doesn't want to fuck the horse. He just pictures himself fucking the horse, just for entertainment.
So I guess what's your takeaway from the movie? Like, what's your lesson? What you're gonna extract from that movie, and it impacts you as a human or in everyday life, or you made you think? I guess we can each share something, dig something out, and then we can do a rating. And I don't know if there's much else to talk about this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think my summary of this movie and what I took away from it will lead right into my rating. So I love dad jokes. I love cheap puns. They crack me up. I love them for what they are. And I'm God, the director of this movie is going to come to my house and bolt guns to my hands for saying this. I kind of like I was watching this movie as kind of a dad joke, just kind of like, haha, that happened. That's fun. I enjoyed it though. I was there for the ride. I was on board for the ride, but it was kind of like just a dad joke, like a knee slapper. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about this movie. I will give this movie, just for entertainment value, I'm going to give it 7 knee slaps out of 10. 7 dad knee slaps out of 10 with a hearty dad chuckle afterwards.
Yuck.
Just because there were some cheap jokes, but I enjoyed it. I took it for what it was. And also, obviously, for Samara Weaving and Daniel Radcliffe. Could have used some Ray Fiennes, but, I'll take what I can get. So, yeah. 7 knee slaps out of 10.
My biggest pull from it was that people are angry. Mm-hmm. And that's just a thing, I guess. I don't know if... That was the biggest message I got. I don't know if that's what my takeaway. I'll apply it to my life or a lesson learned or something observed. But people are angry, and I mean, I observed that. We observe that every day on Twitter. So I guess that was like okay, it's interesting to see that acknowledged. But the movie was a fun ride. We'll never watch it again. It's good eye candy for the most part. You'll get some laughs in there, but it does get exhausting. Does get disorienting. But you'll find something in there to enjoy at least. And I think any modern day internet gamer, just person today, like anyone, will get something out of it. Just it's a movie anyone can watch and find something fun in there. But personally, I'll give it a 2 out of 5. I'll give it 2 2 bullets out of 5.
2 guns out of 5.
Yeah, 2 guns. 2 guns akimbo out of 5. There you go.
I think my major takeaway in terms of stuff that's going to affect me is to have your main character learn something and have them change in some sort of way, even if it's not the way that's expected. Have them change somehow. And I mean, yeah, like John, people are angry and they're just throwing anger out into the world and slinging it at you. I think the thing that I want to end with is that, maybe we should stop trying to make our own versions of Fight Club, or, message movies on the edge, unless they're really good, and maybe have someone edit your script. And for that, I'll give it 1.5 Starbucks cups out of 6.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's technically the lowest rating out of any of us.
Well, you guys are definitely going to wake up with guns bolted to your hands, and I won't.
And I also enjoyed the movie for, again, like John said, like a popcorn spectacle, like this is happening right now, but I don't know. There's a lot to be left on the table for me.
The only reason I will put it back on is I'm doing something, cleaning, doing something I want background noise, and I want something that I don't care about to be on. That's how this movie's popping back on for me.
And I can look over every once in a while and see some cool explosions.
Yep. I do, before we conclude, want to bring up one thing from the last episode, is that Pokemon. This is so random, but I was thinking on the episode because I was trying to figure it out. That the Pokemon movie, the story felt familiar and better and relatable because it was. You played the game. You're a kid. You know, you're going through it. But in Sonic, it's just a point A to point B. So the story is translated into the game, or the game's translated into the story as a point A to point B. Dr. Robotnik, how you get there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing to extract from that as an experience or from going through that, because Pokemon is an RPG essentially and has a story. So I was trying to figure that out because we were bouncing back and forth, and it sounded like we were flip flopping, but I was just trying to figure it out, and I think that's part of what it is. It's just it's that simple.
Dude, that's an excellent observation, because Pokemon, you're playing the game, you're collecting Pokemon, but the game is about you, the human player.
Yeah.
And just like the movie. Yeah, I never once thought about that it correlates to the actual game itself, not just a good movie.
Yeah.
Well, there you go,
Profound.
guys. If you were bothered and you were also thinking like John, like trying to figure it out this whole time, you had to listen to the end of this episode, and now we have concluded our episode on Sonic and Detective Pikachu.
Yes. So far, the longest episode in Stinky Popcorn Boys history. But yeah, guys, we're still recording these, trying to figure out stuff, but
we are still
soon,
remote due to COVID-19.
Yes, we're still remote, so that's why we're talking over each other every now and then. But we're going to soon again start going live week by week, where we'll get a lot more interaction with you guys, and we will announce the film we're covering, and we'll watch it. We'll do the episode, so it's kind of like a book club thing. It's kind of maybe the goal here. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
To bring everyone in on the movie club, film club, book club kind of thing.
Pitch us your movies.
Yeah. We're just guys talking about movies, you know, so that's the format, and then we'll build around that and have segments that are just organic and just dudes hanging out, talking movies, and we with you guys along for the ride.
Sometimes we'll go on ham on the Harry Potter careers of the main three. Sometimes we'll dunk on James Marsden real hard and then feel bad about it.
Oh,
yeah.
Poor James.
I love that dude. I feel bad. I love him.
Dude, he's probably the nicest fucking guy in person, too.
He cooks great. And he plays jazz music. He'll make you some like shrimp scampi, and he'll devein the shrimp in front of you. Ugh, I love James Marsden.
He's a really good guy. I don't know him, but he's a good guy. Yeah. Any last words?
I think the takeaway from this episode is Sonic is a good movie, and James Marsden is a great guy.
Yep.
Well,
I guess final word. Is this better or worse than Battlefield Earth?
Ooh,
this is better. I'll say that.
I think
quickly.
this is better.
Yeah.
It's much
Then
more
Sonic.
No.
Guns Akimbo.
Yeah, Battlefield Earth is better than Sonic.
Battlefield Earth is better than Sonic?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't.
Oh
no,
gosh.
just fucking around.
I was like, boy, John.
Oh, you cut out for a second. Hence, part of the whole doing this remote thing. You said, "Is this better than Battlefield Earth?"
Yeah.
Oh, God.
This podcast?
Yeah. This has been the longest outro. All right, guys. Bye.
As they say in Auckland, aye, here's some guns on your hands. Auckland's in New Zealand. I was doing a New Zealand accent.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I've stopped recording.